Good morning, adventurers, and welcome to another video from the Steve Adventure Academy. And today we're going to do a brief synopsis. We're going to do our best to keep it short with regards to what did we learn in the buck season 2025. Well, we'll jump right into it. A couple of things that we feel like changed our game when it comes to the pursuit of the easternized coyote and also the various opportunities when it comes to deer are possibly these redhead. I'm going to read this. These are the Camel Skins liner glove. Now, we haven't worn these as a liner. These things are thin as a cat's tongue. They're made of some sort of, one would have said Lycra 10 years ago, but it's that real thin polyester. They have little gripping niblets on the palms that you may or may not be able to see. Focus. They have these tactile, it almost feels like the liner inside of a Gore-Tex jacket on the thumb and the index finger, which are able to operate touch screens. Burp, burp, burp. It's pretty good, probably 80% it works, but it's quite a large print rather than a thin print, so it's not really good for typing, but you can operate the basic functions for your phone. For instance, power button, swipe your pattern, pictures, take a picture. But if you want to do anything more than that, they are not good. What they do, or what they accomplish, is you'll notice that as the camera fights to focus close and then far away, that I go in and out of exposure. So the deer signal and also my light complexion is very easily recognized by the various animals in the bush. And so just taking that down to a more neutral tone, something they're more likely to see in the woods, or less likely to see, but something more natural to their environment, really changes things. How much does it change things? Well, it changes things so much so that when you sit down in an area where the squirrels are around, they don't see you as any kind of difference or threat, so they're not sending alarm signals constantly. Now, what does that mean? Well, you take the gloves off, the squirrels recognize your hands, even if you're sitting still, and they alarm forever. You put the gloves on, and they stop alarming within about 60 seconds. So that's really important. The other thing that happens, if you are hunting and everything is covered, I mean, you're only looking out of a space as big as these glasses, which I don't need anymore, but I will in a minute. Just this amount of your face is showing because I cover up with a buff all the way up to here, all seasons. What does that do? Well, if your hands are uncovered, the crows see the reflection of the light off your skin. So do other potential opportunities or in game animals. So covering up your hands, covering up your face as much as is humanly possible to cut down that glare really helps a lot. Part of how we accomplish that, of course, is with buffs. Now here's the opposite. Buffs also come in solid orange, which in my part of the eastern Canadian wilderness is an absolute must by regulation. But what this thing does is it covers any hat you care to wear. So if you've got a particular hat you like to wear to the bush, or if you need something with a brim, that some mornings you'll need something with a brim because the light is going to be very low and you're starting early in the morning, so the light is really below eye level and coming up, shining directly into your eyes, which makes it hard to see. So you can add a brim, but still have your 100% orange headgear. It also has almost no insulating value, so you can cover up the solar panel and be legal without adding a lot of insulation, which is great for the early season. Or in the middle of the day, as things warm up, you can take off your orange-colored toque and add this little guy. Still be regulation and covered in the ways that you have to be, but cool rather than warm. So these gloves you can wear all summer long. They're very comfortable. Probably down to, let's say, if you were really dressed warm, and I mean maybe too warm. Your hands are still going to be cold once it gets down near 0 Celsius because these are quite cool. In fact, far as they feel cool in your hands when you pick them up and hold them. Even if you hold them for some time, they never really warm up in your hand. The other gloves that we've been using that are a recent addition, let me get the name of these right. Squint down to 2020. And these are a new addition, so I don't have a long-term review. These we've been using for 2 years, but we didn't want to talk about them until we had really worn them out. They work for everything. Using them as a liner is kind of silly because the cooling effect happens even inside an insulated glove. So when you take your hand out of an insulated glove like this, you could possibly squeeze them into these. I don't, but you could. They would still have a cooling effect, so it reduces the insulating value. It may not reduce the actual R value, but it definitely influences your comfort level, and that's what we're talking about. The new gloves that we've just added are the Cabela's Stretch Fleece. They've got a fancy number. These are in their scent line, and they have an almost real tree thing. And what we like about these right away is they feel a little bit fleecy inside. They've got nice insulating value down to -4, -5 with reasonable the rest of you covered. These are still very comfortable. They have phone capable thumb and forefinger, which seems to work pretty well, but again, it makes your finger huge, so you're not going to be typing any text messages to your sweetheart. And the palms, instead of done in dots, I don't know if you can see. Awesome. Great job, camera. Ridges. These are grippy enough to feel really nice on your stock or anything you might have to hold and manipulate, but you can see that my fingers slide across my palm. Some of these gloves, and by these I mean any insulated glove that has something to make it grippy, sometimes they're so grippy your fingers won't even slide. So I like a little bit of sliption and not so much gription. But you're going to have to thread that needle yourself. What else have we got here that might be of interest? We started using the Score brand by Prairie Shot. It's a Brennicky style slug. And these are light recoil. They're a little bit camouflage. And they are very tactical. What I've heard so far, I haven't had a chance to test them very much, but we will be testing them against the standard Winchester Foster slug, which is our go-to. Those slugs are super accurate, and the recoil is ruthless. We're told that these are also super accurate, and the recoil is less ruthless. I'm trying to reason out in my mind how a one-take wonder with no editing can do a reasonable comparison video, if it's even possible to compare one slug to another. So we'll be looking at that. But if you're looking for gloves with insulation and that hydation camouflage, these are a really nice option. The other thing to consider is if you're looking for that close fit, my hands are what I would probably say are pretty regular. I don't have chubby fingers, or they are a little bit long. Ladies' sizes fit really well. So don't be shy. When you go into your Bass Pro Shops, you're looking at Cabela's products, try on the ladies' gloves. What you'll find the difference to be. These are men's, but I did try the ladies' ones on. Where you find the difference in ladies' gloves is in this space. Ladies' gloves are generally closer. I'm pressing on it to make it look even more close than it is. But a lady's glove is usually a little thinner in here because their thumbs aren't so wide, I guess. Never had lady hands, so I can't really speak to that specifically. But when you try on a lady's glove, you'll find that generally the fingers are a little slimmer. You may suffer in this area of the hand and also in the well, but they can be a little closer. And I love a close-fitting glove because, frankly, men's gloves are often, the fingers are short and stubby. So this is up here. This well isn't as deep enough for you to really hold things, so it kind of defeats the point of being a glove. Often this well is quite meaty. There's a lot of extra material that I don't need to fit my hand, which means when you're gripping things, knives, sticks, you're working with tools, you're carrying firearms, you're holding ammunition, you wouldn't be able to do this with the often with men's gloves. because you just can't. There's too much material in that space. So that's one of our tips and tricks would be to try the ladies version. Any glove you see in a men's version, try it in the ladies version. See if you can customize that fit. All in all, I think that's all we really have for you today, but we really wanted to do a video, and we appreciate your patience. Everyone who's joined us that has not seen a new video, well, here's some new content, and we are coming back with more. I won't lie to you and tell you that I know when, and I won't pretend to know what it'll be, but we are looking at a variety of opportunities, and we know that it's been a hot minute. And so, what else did we learn when it came to this hunting season? Well, we tried apples and also pumpkins. Pro tip, what did we learn? Pumpkins need to be broken open, and pumpkins are not nearly as attractive as apples are. Apples, you can take one of the better ones and rub it on a tree. You can create a really large scent footprint or a scent print so that the animals get the idea on the breeze that there is something good to eat. They're not foolproof. They are not necessarily going to improve your season. They did improve my game camera footage, but we're still going to be buying all of our meat this year at the grocery store. Maybe next year. We did have a much better year, though, because who came to the apples? Surprises. So squirrels, not a big surprise, mostly curiosity. Whiskey jacks, or what do regular folk call them? It's a whiskey jack, but it's also a gray jay. They really like them. The deer did come by and spend a fair bit of time and consume a lot of the apples, but the deer in my area found them, demolished them. We put more out. They never really came back. I don't know why. Who else showed up? Coyotes in spades. Also bobcat. Who knows why? But he had his beak in those apples. He doesn't think he ate them, but he had his beak in those apples like they owed him money. And we also got a nice footage of a huge marten. And when I say huge, I mean the arch of his back with his otter-esque gait made him look almost as tall and possibly as long as the easternized coyotes that we got footage of. So that made a big difference for us insofar as our video footage was concerned. And of course, that's part of the fun, is why they call it hunting and not just eating. So what else did we learn? Super early in the morning is a great time to be out, and those dusk hours really pay off. We were able to get a lot of great coyote song on video. Feel free to check us out at Steve Adventure on Facebook for that footage. It's basically, just looks like a black screen because that's all the camera would do, but it was listening and getting some great audio. And so those are kind of the overview. That's a quick overview of our 2025 deer season. We did spend more time in the bush than we have in previous deer seasons. We heard a lot of really close calling from the bucks, and we also heard a lot of close passing by in the bush from the does. But did we get sights on? Not this season, but still one of the best, if not the best, deer season that we here at the Adventure Academy have ever enjoyed. And so from all of us to all of you, cover up, stay legal, stay safe, have fun, and of course, because safety at the Adventure Academy is not the number one priority, it's third. We want you to make sure that you stay sharp and have a great season. In every way and in every single day, we hope you have a fantastic 2025, and we're looking forward to the 2026 varmint season. Take care. Coming right up for you.